This is Old America Journal, and today we're going back to the American home of 1973, the kitchens, the garages, the living rooms where families lived before everything became disposable. In 1973, the oil embargo hit, and Nixon was on television every night. But inside American homes, something quieter was happening. The things families owned were built to last, designed to be repaired, expected to outlast the decade. 8 of those things are what we're talking about today. By the time we get to number 8, you're going to hear about something so ordinary that most people never thought twice about it, and so specifically American that nothing has ever replaced it. Number 1. CorningWare Blue Cornflower. White ceramic, a single blue cornflower on the side. If you grew up in an American home in the 1960s or the 1970s, you ate from this dish. It went from the freezer to a 400-degree oven to the kitchen table without anyone thinking twice. Corning developed the glass ceramic formula, pyroceram, for military missile nose cones in the 1950s. A material engineered for atmospheric re-entry was redirected into the American kitchen. The blue cornflower launched in 1958, and it never left. Mothers passed it to daughters. Some of those original dishes are still in use today. In 2000, Corning sold the brand. The formula changed. The dishes look identical, but they behave differently under heat. If you find one at an estate sale with the original Corning back stamp, buy it. The kitchen held most of what an American home needed, but one item belonged to the garage, and it said something about the man who owned it. Number 2. Craftsman hand tools. Your father had a Craftsman socket set in a red metal box. He did not think of them as a collection. They were simply there. They worked, and if one broke, he walked into Sears and walked out with a replacement. No receipt, no questions. That was the guarantee, unconditional and permanent. In 1973, a complete socket set cost about $24. A broken Craftsman tool from 1955 could be exchanged in 1975. That was not policy. That was a promise. Sears sold the Craftsman brand in 2017. The tools are now made overseas. The men who still have their father's Craftsman tools keep them not out of sentiment, but because they are better than what replaced them. Back inside the house, something else was happening every weekday morning. A smell that meant dinner was already handled. Number 3. The rival Crock-Pot. Rival introduced the Crock-Pot in 1971. By 1973, it was in kitchens across America for one reason. Women were entering the workforce in record numbers, and the Crock-Pot solved the problem. Load it in the morning, turn it to low, leave for work. 8 hours later, dinner was ready. The smell that greeted you when you opened the front door, the scent of pot roast, chicken stew, and bean soup, is one of the most specific sensory memories of the 1970s family life. It meant someone had thought about dinner that morning. It meant the evening was going to be all right. Original rival Crock-Pots had thick ceramic inserts and simple 2-position switches. They lasted 20 years. The Crock-Pot name survives. The simplicity does not. The Crock-Pot handled dinner. But on certain evenings, when guests were coming, something else took over the kitchen entirely. Number 4. Tupperware. Tupperware was not sold in stores. It was sold at parties. A woman in the neighborhood hosted. Other women came. Someone demonstrated the products, took orders, earned a commission. The Tupperware party was a social institution of the American suburb, a weeknight gathering that combined commerce with community. Earl Tupper's high-density polyethylene containers sealed out air so effectively that leftovers lasted noticeably longer. The burping seal, the resistance when you pressed the lid down. In 1973, Tupperware was manufactured in the United States through a network of hundreds of thousands of dealers. In September 2023, Tupperware brands filed for bankruptcy. The containers from 1973 are still in kitchen cabinets across America, still sealing. The ones made recently are not the same. Number 5. The Polaroid land camera. After the guests went home, something of the evening remained. Not a memory yet, not quite. First, it appeared in your hands, slowly emerging on a white-bordered square of paper. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, which of these do you still have? The CorningWare, the Craftsman tools, the old Tupperware from your mother's cabinet? I read every single one. You pressed the button. The camera whirred. A white-bordered square emerged from the front slot, still developing. You held it face down for 60 seconds, then turned it over. The image was there, slightly soft, colors slightly warm, real in your hand before the moment had passed. By 1973, Polaroid cameras were in millions of American homes. They came out at birthdays, at Christmas mornings, at backyard barbecues. Children gathered around the emerging photograph because the image was arriving in real time, and everyone wanted to see it first. Polaroid filed for bankruptcy in 2001 as digital photography erased the market. The photographs those cameras made are in shoeboxes in attics across the country. Still clear. The company that made them is not. Saturday mornings had their own rhythm, and it started with a sound you heard before you were fully awake. Number 6. The Osterizer blender. The Osterizer had been on American kitchen counters since 1946, a heavy glass jar on a chrome base. Saturday morning meant the Osterizer running. Your mother made something in it, a milkshake, a frozen daiquiri for company, something that required 30 seconds of noise that rattled the cabinet doors. The sound was specific, a rising whine, then the thick churn when ingredients caught the blade. You knew it from 3 rooms away. Sunbeam acquired Oster in 1960. The brand passed through multiple owners. The glass jar became plastic. The original machines still run. People find them at estate sales and keep them because the new ones don't feel like anything. Sunday followed Saturday, and Sunday had its own obligation, one that began with a sound from downstairs. Number 7. The Hoover or Electrolux vacuum cleaner. Saturday morning, every Saturday morning, the vacuum came out. The carpet had to be done before Sunday. Sunday was for church and family dinner, not housework. The Hoover's rotating brush made a rising hum as it engaged the carpet. You heard it and knew the morning had started, whether you were ready or not. Hoover made upright vacuums in North Canton, Ohio. Electrolux made canisters in Greenwich, Connecticut. Both were built with metal housings and motors designed to run for decades. Hoover's North Canton factory closed in 2007. The machines built in Ohio are still running in homes where someone maintained them. The ones built since are not expected to. Everything on this list so far was bought, paid for. The last item was earned differently, one stamp at a time. Number 8. S&H Green Stamps. You got them at the grocery store. A certain number of stamps per dollar spent, licked and pasted into a small booklet. When the booklet was full, you saved it. When you had enough booklets, you took them to the redemption center and exchanged them for something from the catalog. In 1973, S&H Green Stamps was the largest consumer loyalty program in American history. The company printed more stamps than the United States Postal Service. Families saved for months toward a specific item, a set of dishes, a lamp, a portable television. Your mother kept the booklets in a kitchen drawer. Filling them was something she did at the table after dinner, pressing stamps with a damp sponge. Children helped. The program faded through the 1980s as discount retailers undercut its economics. The drawer where the booklets were kept holds something else now. 8 things. The CorningWare that lasted 60 years, the Craftsman ratchet with the guarantee that never expired, the Crock-Pot that made dinner while everyone was at work, the Tupperware that sealed things for decades, the Polaroid developing in someone's hand, the Osterizer on a Saturday morning, the Hoover that meant Sunday was coming, the green stamps in the kitchen drawer. None of them were remarkable at the time. They were simply there, reliable, durable, present. The background of a life being lived without anyone taking notes. Tell me in the comments which one of these was in your home, which drawer, which counter, which shelf, and what does remembering it bring back, not the object, but the moment around it? We don't just remember the objects, we remember the life around them. Subscribe, because there is a lot more of this country left to remember.